darlings, it's me, Freddie Uranus, back from a brief stint in rehab due to my rock and roll lifestyle. I'm kidding, it was neurological physical therapy and it's because my brain's broken, but it's fine, I'm fine, we're fine. We're gonna get through this. So, I may have taken a long break from uploading videos, but you bet your bottom dollar that I have still been watching tons and tons of anime. So today I actually have a super exciting announcement. In my first video that I uploaded to YouTube, I explained the Anime Olympics. My anime list is a website used by anime connoisseurs to keep track of all of the anime they've ever watched, and every single year they have a competition of sorts, and the competition is to see how much anime you can watch in a year. And this year was themed with an Olympic vibe, because before we knew that 2020 was going to be an absolute just diarrhea fest, there was supposed to be the Olympics held in Tokyo, but that didn't happen. Be that as it may, the Anime Olympics are still going on, or were still going on. And I am proud to say that I got gold. Sort of. Kind of. Not really. Okay, here's what happened. I did a dum-dum. Sometimes I can be kind of slow. So I've been keeping track of all the anime I watched, and once I finished my final anime, I got really excited and went to put in all of my information into an Excel sheet that would magically turn it into the weird code matrix thing that my anime list uses. I am not smart enough to figure that stuff out. I spent about a good day just trying to put all the information in. Now, I have had to have read the rules for the competition about 1,000 times, which makes this oversight even worse. You see, I guess I just assumed that since it was a year-long thing, you would have until December 31st to turn in your form. That's wrong. The competition actually ended November 30th, which makes sense because the administrators have to check every single entry and verify them, and so I don't know why I thought I could just turn it in on the last minute and be okay. The good news is that I know in my mind that I received gold. The bad news is I don't actually get the credit for it, but that is okay. And it's okay because the reason I did this in the first place wasn't for accolades, wasn't for the fame, wasn't for the glory. No, the reason I did this was to better my understanding of anime. I went into this a casual anime viewer, and I have come out a fully fledged weeb. I'm not sure if that's a good thing, but I'll take it. I got to experience anime that I never would have experienced otherwise, so you know what? I feel pretty darn good about the experience. I would have felt better if I would have actually turned in my form in time. It's my dog. But, you know, I'm kind of stupid and on a lot of medication. So anyway, I thought I would create this video kind of telling you what I have learned throughout this entire experience, because believe it or not, you can learn things from anime. Don't let people tell you otherwise. So I did the math. Yes, I did math. And I watched a total of 364 hours of anime in 2020. That is almost exactly 15 full days worth of anime. I would say that's 15 days I could have spent doing something productive, but I was sick most of this year, so anime was about as good as I could do. So here are just like the top 10 things I learned. Number 1, anime is an acquired taste. And what I mean by that is anime doesn't exist in a vacuum. We experience anime based on our experiences as human beings. So, for instance, as Westerners, we generally have a very different idea of what animation means than what Japanese people know it to be. On top of that, there's a language barrier, there's cultural differences, and there are just tons of reasons why someone might not be into anime at first. They might not get it, and that's okay. Sometimes it takes yourself kind of forcing yourself to try something in order for you to like it, if that makes sense. I mean, obviously, if you really don't like it, just stop. But in the case of anime, I have found that the more anime I watch, the more I like it, because the better I understand it. Now, I was super into anime when I was 12 to 14, but then I got really, really busy with theater. I was a big theater geek in high school and college, and I really didn't have time to watch it. And then when I did have time, when I entered graduate school and then got sick, I found myself not understanding anime. I mean, like, I understood it on a base level, but I just didn't really vibe with it, if that makes sense. I preferred other mediums. And it really wasn't until I started this challenge that I began to appreciate the art of Japanese animation. It just takes a little bit of getting used to. You know, there's just this way anime works that, you know, you just have to kind of let yourself adapt to before you can really start to like it. So don't judge your friends too harshly if they aren't into anime, if they say they've tried it and aren't really into it. I say, just keep pushing it. The second thing I learned may sound a little bit counterintuitive to what I just said, but hear me out. You see, even though I said that I was super into anime in my preteen years and I fell out of it, I don't necessarily think people grow out of anime. What I mean by that is you're never too old to enjoy it. You know, the beauty of anime is it's not just for kids, it's not just for adults, it's not just for anyone else. It's for everyone. And I really don't think that my, you know, falling out of anime had anything to do with getting older. It just happened that I got busy with my life and kind of fell out of it that way. Number 3 kind of goes along with that. There is an anime out there for everyone. And what I mean by that is that there are just so many kinds of anime. It doesn't matter what you're into. If you're into chess, if you're into swimming, if you just like to watch cute girls do cute things, there is an anime out there for you. And again, that's the beauty of it. There are so many like obscure anime that have very, very niche audiences that I'm surprised they even got made. But that's beautiful to me. Number 4 is something that my Japanese teachers have tried to tell me for years, and I just never listened, I guess. And that is, anime won't teach you Japanese. So I was in college level Japanese for 3 years. I'm not good at it at all. Don't ask me to speak it. But I had the idea that if I consumed more and more anime, I would suddenly develop perfect Japanese, or at least a working knowledge of the language, and that could not be further from the case. Number 1, the Japanese that is being spoken in anime is different from like regular Japanese, and number 2, I don't know, it just doesn't really absorb. And that brings us to number 5. Anime can help you retain Japanese vocab. There have been many times when I was watching anime that I was like, oh yeah, I almost forgot about that word because I haven't been in a Japanese class for a while. But hearing words spoken, even if I don't really understand the context or the structure of the sentence or grammar, just hearing words isolated by themselves is really, really helpful to me. Number 6, on your journey through anime, there will come a time when you begin this longing, this yearning inside your soul that maybe you never thought you would have. And that yearning is for anime merchandise. Also, I got a Cowboy Bebop shirt, so look at that. There's Spike and there's Faye Valentine. Suddenly, you will want to buy figurines of your favorite waifu that are $500. Thankfully, I haven't done that yet. Number 7, even more crazy. Something that I never thought I would even dream of doing. And you may never think you would do this thing either. But if you watch enough anime, suddenly you're gonna start seeing a character and being like, hey, that character's kind of like me. Hey, I bet I could pull off a cosplay of that character. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, maybe it's just me, but like suddenly I've watched how many hours, 364 hours of anime, I want to cosplay. And unfortunately there are no conventions to go to because it is COVID, so I'm gonna have to really table that one for another time. But yeah, never thought I would want to do that, but I do. So that's kind of fun. Number 8. Now, this may seem really obvious, but I think it's worth pointing out. Anime is subjective. What I mean is that there were some anime that I watched that were supposed to be really, really highly regarded, really critically acclaimed, that I thought were pieces of, yeah. It's all subjective, no matter what the trolls on Discord would have you believe. Number 9, kind of going off that point, you will get better at really finding the true gems in all of the trash. Because let me tell you, there is a lot of trash anime out there, and in the beginning you may not be able to differentiate between good anime and bad anime. I know it was all I said it was all subjective, but stay with me here. Okay, you'll learn what you like in an anime and what you don't like in an anime really, really quickly the more anime you watch. And I really recommend rating your anime on my anime list. If you put it in, you might as well. And you will notice very quickly, I noticed that at the beginning, I've had all of my anime were really highly rated, like 8s, 9s, 10s, and the more I watched, the more I realized that there were actually way more variety in my opinions than I thought. I thought every anime that I watched was a great anime, but in retrospect, I can pick out now the really good ones from the really not so good ones. But again, like I said, it's all subjective. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. You do you. And finally, number 10, which is the most important. An anime is only as good as its best waifu. Goodbye, darlings. This has been Freddie Uranus. And I hope you had a wonderful holiday. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful 2021.